Welcome back to Shizzy Unchained, the show where I cover the sector of crypto and AI, the only sector that matters right now. If you are looking for opportunities in NFTs or meme coins, I think you're chasing old ghosts. It's just not coming back. I really do not think we're going to have the run that we've seen before where everything kind of takes off together. That's the only way you're going to make it if you're getting into those opportunities, if they are opportunities. I would just say, as a collector, I think it's fine, I guess. But we're not here to be collectors. We're here to get life-changing opportunities. Later down the line, when you're filthy rich because you made a ton off this next, big intelligence sector, which is artificial intelligence, you're going to be very happy. You're going to be not going to mind collecting stuff. But if you're in a position where I'm looking to still change my life for the better, that is why I'm looking into sectors like Bittensor-Style, because Bittensor-Style is bringing AI startups to crypto. It's actually one of the few sectors that is really kind of bringing it all together. And that's the beautiful part of what Bittensor-Style is doing. AI startups, fused with cryptocurrency in a way that we've never seen before. I mean, these subnets are something that we've never seen before. It's new, it's original, it's pretty cool. I think Jacob Steves and the team over at the OpenTensor Foundation have done an amazing job, and I'm kind of excited to be the one to kind of break it down for you. If you're the first time hearing about Bittensor-Style, you're in for a treat, because when I first got into it, I was just blown away. It really brought me back to the days when I was looking at the DeFi summer, when I was looking at the early days of ordinals and just seeing, wow, there's a lot of opportunity here for me to do 100x, do 1,000x. I mean, who knows? You might even get into something that does a 10,000x. I mean, it's possible. It happens in crypto. It's very rare, but if you sniff out the opportunity before most people, it's there. It's there for you. It's waiting. So let's get into this one. I'm really excited to get started.
They wanted me quiet, snapped out the cage. I turn up the rage, Shizzy Onchain. They wanted me quiet, I snapped out the cage. I turn up the rage, Shizzy Onchain. I don't need luck, no.
All right. Let's get into Bittensor-Style first. So I always like to start off the show with just kind of looking at Bittensor-Style. I found something interesting on the chart here. This is going all the way back to probably May or July of 2024. And what you're kind of seeing here is debut on Binance. Obviously, it shot up, and then it just comes down, goes back up, comes down, goes back up, down, up, down, up. This is, in my opinion, the best thing that's ever happened to a token, because you're not seeing no giant pump and dumps. You're seeing consolidation through the entire time that it's been on an exchange like Binance. And I would show the Coinbase chart, but I think the Binance chart is like perfect timing. Obviously, we know Bittensor-Style was created in 2022. It might even went back to 2021, but the real structure, in my opinion, starts when investors have a lot of liquidity, and that's what you kind of saw with the Binance listing back in, I want to say April of 24. So, and then you saw consolidation. I mean, this entire time, guys. And what normally happens in consolidation is you eventually see upward momentum like you'd never seen before. I mean, I think 1,200, this year, in my opinion, maybe by July, August, is definitely possible. And I'm not saying that to get you excited. I'm not saying that because, I want this to happen. I'm saying it because I've seen this before. I've seen these patterns. I've seen these patterns in Bitcoin. I've seen these patterns in Ethereum. TAO is the next sector to really blast off. It really is. And if we just kind of slow in to this, right? Do not full port. We're done with full porting. We're doing dollar cost averaging this entire year. We don't care if the price is 160, if the price is 180, if the price is 500. We are going to continuously buy. That is the way. And you're not going to go heavier because it's this price or less because it's this price. No, you're just going to have a plan in place. Hey, I'm working overtime. I'm putting all my overtime money here. Hey, I'm doing DoorDash. I'm putting all that money every week, whatever I make into Bittensor-Style or into the subnets. I think that is the best strategy that you could possibly think of right now, because this is the time when there is war, when there is blood in the streets like we are seeing right now. A dollar cost average strategy is the only strategy you should be doing. Do not try to buy bottoms. Do not try to time tops. If you want to DCA out, that's fine too. But that is a long way away, in my opinion, from a DCA out. But DCAing in, I do see something like this from here. I think, we did have like a triple bottom here, and I think it's time to kind of flow up to success. And this could happen subnet summer. I think we have a subnet summer, and Bittensor-Style leads the way up to 1200. That's just my guess. I'm not a financial advisor whatsoever. This is just something that I've personally been looking at and is, I'm excited about. So that's Bittensor-Style. If you, let's just say you are on the stock market, you don't know how to get crypto or anything like that, there is an opportunity for you. It is TAO. This is by the Yuma Group, DCG. This is the same guys who did the Bitcoin Trust before the Bitcoin ETF, Grayscale. Grayscale has a Bittensor Trust for you. It's called GTAO. And this is your way of getting exposure to Bittensor through the stock market. So if you do have, a Roth or something like that where you can't take money out and you want to get in Bittensor-Style, maybe start doing some research into GTAO or Grayscale Bittensor Trust. It's just, something there I want to show you guys for sure. And I found out Chutes is actually on what's that, crypto.com. That's exciting if that's true. But yeah, so definitely really cool to kind of be able to see Chutes on the trading view. So I gotta look into further where it's coming from, but I think we see all the subnets soon on trading view. So that's good. Let's move along though. So Venice could be the leader in the AI sector, and that's fine. We're still in Bittensor-Style. I do have a little bit of Venice. I got the airdrop back in January of 2025, and I just staked it and just holding it. It's been, doing really well lately. We saw this huge pump. I mean, this thing was at, around $2 in February 9th. So less than a month ago. And now it's at $6.46. Yesterday it hit almost $8. But when you're looking at sectors like crypto AI, you have to find your leaders, right? Maybe that leader isn't Bittensor-Style. Maybe that leader is Venice, VVV. Because, once you find that leader, you can really lock in to everything else. You have your leaders run first, which are probably going to be stuff like Venice, stuff like TAO, and then you have your subnets, right? But it does seem like Venice is going to lead us out of this bloody market that we're in when it comes to crypto AI. And that's exciting because once you identify the leaders, you don't have to invest in those leaders. You just have to be in the sector that the leader is pushing, right? So that's what it's going to do. VVV, and you saw it yesterday. VVV pumped, and you saw everything else kind of glide with it. Bittensor-Style included. I mean, I saw Ridges almost at $9 yesterday. It's back down to $8 today. But this is because you're getting a full pullback from everything. So I'm watching VVV. Would I love Bittensor-Style to take the leadership role? Yes. Do I think it's going to? It could, right? I'm guessing right now that I think it will. But, for right now, we got to focus on Venice and kind of watch it and, judge everything else off. I got to remember, too, Bittensor-Style is over a billion. This is sitting at 286 million, right? So saying it's the leader, meaning that it is the one with the momentum. Momentum is leadership. Market cap is not, in my opinion. All right, let's move along. Shout out to the OpenTensor Trust or OpenTensor Foundation. Sorry. So when I was with, doing a lot of stuff with the Bitcoin ordinals, I had a show, Onchain Revolution, that failed. It failed because the market died, but it failed because it didn't have a foundation. Bittensor-Style having the OpenTensor Foundation is so meaningful in a lot of different ways, but the main reason is because just tweets like this. While labs compete for government contracts, we're building something that can't be bid on. AI that no single entity controls, no department award deals, no supply chain risks, no centralized red lines, just decentralized intelligence running on Bittensor. Having a foundation that comes out and just, has the back of the community here when you're seeing stuff like what's happening with Anthropic and OpenAI to kind of put everything into perspective for the newer people in the space like myself. It's awesome to see. I really appreciate this. And maybe a lot of people don't appreciate stuff like this. Maybe people are like, it's just a tweet from the foundation. All foundations tweet. Well, I came from a place that didn't have a foundation. Ordinals was just a community driven, thing. I wouldn't even call it an opportunity because it's not anymore. It's definitely a failed area of opportunity for sure. I mean, it did have its run up, but that's what I mean when I was looking at the Bittensor TAO. It didn't have this huge 2-year consolidation. It just went up and then back down. Already all that stuff, the Node Monkey NFTs, all that stuff. So having 2 years of consolidation is very healthy, and that is why I'm so bullish. But shout out to the OpenTensor Foundation. I think that this is going to be something that really helps the ecosystem, even if you don't believe it. I love it, absolutely love it. All right, moving along. I came across something actually pretty cool, and it's called Trusted Stake. I love the idea of having a bunch of things in a basket and kind of watching it grow. Very similar to an ETF, very similar to what we see in the stock market when it comes to these other trusts and stuff like that. So I looked into this, so you don't have to. It's really cool. Invest in the next wave of AI instantly. So we're going to enter the app here. And what this is a way for you to create a strategy. Connect your wallet, choose a strategy. And when you kind of look at the strategies, there's so many different ones, right? You can kind of get into one in the top 15. It's giving you 43% APY. And that's the beauty of subnets. Again, you get this massive APY for just holding the tokens. So with TrustedStake.ai, you can basically, delegate your TAO to 5 subnets all at once. You don't have to go in and pick and choose. I want this one. You can do this yourself, obviously, but you can just delegate your TAO here. I was looking at the risks. So when I was looking at that sector, it really opened my eyes to benefits of proxy accounts, which is delegating permissions. The worst that can happen if this gets hacked is they delegate to a different sector. A different subnet. There is no getting keys. It can't get the TAO out of these. So that's pretty safe, in my opinion. I ran this through ChatGPT, and it basically told me, yeah, that's one of the few pain points, and that's not a big deal. I mean, hopefully they can kind of get control of whatever's happening if something does happen, but that really defeats the person trying to hack this too. So that's a benefit as well. So I do like what they're doing here. I do like these strategies. If you are interested in getting in the top 10 or the top 5, you just come here, connect your wallet, and delegate your TAO. They have some other stuff here too, where it's like a universe. You can kind of get into the compute ecosystem exposure. You can get into the AI development stack ones. And a lot of them do have some of the same ones here. This is more of a diverse one, it says, but it doesn't look that way. Yeah, so, and then you have fintech. You can kind of get into Vantas, and so I do like these. And then you have the macro Cosmos guys. You can get into all 3 of their subnets by delegating there. So this is just another option if you're looking to kind of not have to manage your accounts. You could just go buy these separately, but I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was really cool. I do like that people are building in the sector and building stuff like this. This is a financial instrument, guys. This is exactly what you're seeing from TradFi, and we're getting that stuff built here with Bittensor TAO. And I just wanted to bring that to your attention because I thought it was pretty cool. Moving along, we have Targon. Deploy and develop your own OpenClaw agents using Targon Rentals. Template available now. Head to Targon Rentals, create a new rental, select OpenClaw. So if you know what OpenClaw is, a lot of people are running it on these Mac Minis. You do not need a Mac Mini. You can actually use OpenClaw by going to Targon, and you can actually rent some of these GPUs. Like you can rent a NVIDIA. So you don't really have to have this running on your server. You can actually have it running on a cloud system like Targon. And what that does is that allows you to kind of give tasks to your autonomous agent. Hey, build this. After that, you're done this, do this, where he can just do all the stuff and then report back to you. But it's not coming from your hardware. It's not coming from your system. You're not at risk. There's no reason to go out and buy a Mac Mini when you have stuff like this. I mean, $2.40 an hour, and then you just send it to go. I mean, you probably only need a small one if you're creating websites and stuff like that. If you're creating like, large things, you might want to get a bigger one. But I love what Targon is doing, and it's one of the cheapest models out there. It's probably 90% cheaper than some of the other ones out there. So if you are thinking about running OpenClaw, think about something like Targon for sure. And then you have, this one. These guys are amazing too. Mark Jeffrey was telling me about them, and I really start looking into Basilica. I can never say the same. I was saying it good earlier. I don't know why I can't say it now. Yeah, Basilica or something. I don't know. There's a lot of funny names and stuff. But anyway, instead of deploying on like AWS or something like that, you can use something like this. And it's really interesting that we have this stuff in Bittensor-Style, because you're not really seeing this from other communities or other projects. So really awesome. Bittensor-Style is building for OpenClaw, because I think everyone understands that that's where everything is going. So I love the fact that these two Bittensor subnets are building there. Moving along, IntoTAO. So this was a really cool site that I found. It's just a resource hub, right? So it really kind of helps you kind of navigate ecosystem if you're new, like I was. And you have BitStarter, which is a launch pad for Bittensor economy. This one is interesting for sure. I do like BitStarter. I know I mention them every update, but I do love the fact that we have these launch pads, because I'm not going to lie to you guys, launch pads are the backbone of ecosystems. Crowdfunded, ICO, we've seen this in 2021. This is where the opportunity lies. If you can get into something super early, like what these guys are offering, and they're helping teams get subnets. Like without the help of BitStarter, stuff like Handshake and Degen and Quasar, like they probably wouldn't have a subnet. And if they can build with their, telling everyone they're capable of building, it's going to be really interesting to kind of see. But shout out to BitStarter. And then you have TAO Swap here. VTAO. I found VTAO really interesting. It's a bridge to base in Ethereum. So I did connect my wallet, and when I connected my wallet, it was like a TAO EVM. And I did read about this from the TAO Foundation, where there is a TAO EVM parallel chain that runs along with Bittensor-TAO. So eventually, once some of these dApps start taking on TAO, you might be able to bridge your TAO over to EVM environment and kind of play in that fast-paced EVM environment, and then bridge back when you're ready if you want to come back to the mother chain, which is the TAO Bittensor chain itself without the EVM. But you get VTAO, and the VTAO is kind of staked or something. So it's really interesting. I have to do more research in it, but it all came from IntoTAO.app, and they got different stuff here as well, TAO Galaxies, but OpenTensor GitHub. So this is kind of your one-stop shop into kind of learning about where everything is. If you're new here, you can watch YouTube channels like TAO Templar. Huge fan of his. So just another tool in the toolbox for you if you're interested in kind of learning more about Bittensor-TAO and what's happening here. All right, ridges. So today's the 3rd, and the 5th is the day we've all been waiting for. It is the launch of their beta, and it does feel like they are ready to launch. So this is just kind of explaining what Ridges is. Ridges agents aren't assistants. They take ownership. Here's what makes them autonomous. Triggered by a live GitHub issue, assign the issue. This agent understands content, maps dependencies, closed loop execution, parallel engineering, capacity, autonomy is measured, performance is a benchmark. Agents compete, results are ranked. So when agents are competing against each other for the reward, that is how we're going to see constant growth from an ecosystem. And I think that's the beautiful part about what Ridges is bringing. It's basically, if you want the top spot, the top mining spot where you earn the most Ridges tokens or Bittensor TAO rewards, then you're going to have the best coding agent. And it's going to be there. It's going to be waiting for you. I do like the fact that you're not, everything is open source, but the one that's number one is going to be like locked. And then, once you get the number one spot, it's locked again. So that way it's just not, copy and paste in other places. I love what Ridges is doing. They're putting a competition to be the best and earn for being the best. And it's absolutely beautiful. This is going to be something that competes with Anthropic. This is going to be something that competes with Codex. I'm excited to kind of see what Ridges does. I mean, we're 2 days away from, my opinion, the biggest beta launch in the history of Bittensor TAO. Excited for Shaq over there. He's the leader, Shaquille. Just kind of seeing what he kind of brings to the table. I mean, this is his baby now. So kind of excited to kind of see what happens next there. Ridges, they put out this thing today. Ridges is it's a quote from Dread Bongo. Shout out to Dread Bongo. Ridges not only has the potential to compete with Claude and Cursor, but through incentives, it can improve at a rate closed systems simply can't match. I mean, boom, mic drop right there. So shout out to Dread Bongo. All right, let's kind of get into some Bittensor TAO market updates, kind of see what's happening with these guys here. So, all right, let's go into the subnets here. All right, so obviously we got shoots right now. 10% emissions. Love to see that. Continuously want to see that kind of grow if it can. That really kind of shows that Shoots is just the leader there. Sitting at around 83 million. It is more than double the second, which is Affine. We do know that Jacob Steves is running this one, so excited to kind of see what Jacob Steves kind of brings to the table there. Ridges, this is the opportunity in the market, in my opinion, sitting at $8.14. If the launch goes good, I think this thing could be $10. I think a 20% gain going into Thursday is easy for a competitive AI competition that Ridges is going to be putting together. So it's up 23% in a month. I do see Ridges potentially maybe passing Affine in the upcoming days here, becoming at number 2. I would love for it to get closer to that 8% emissions, get 6% maybe. That would be awesome to see. Targon, another one that I absolutely love. Very bullish on Targon. Illum.io, another one that's competing kind of with Targon, doing kind of the very same things with compute. So, guys, there's a lot of opportunities in this market. I mean, you're seeing 28 million, 30 million, 24 million, especially Hippias, which is, doing data storage. There's just so much opportunity in this market right now. It's absolutely awesome. Then you have Score. I mean, if you're an idiot, you think they're just doing, some type of stuff with sports, and they're not. They're building, artificial intelligence cameras to kind of track the sports players and get real live access. What they're doing is absolutely awesome. If you haven't looked into Score yet, I highly recommend you look into Score. Very bullish on that one. IOTA, another one that's really doing really cool stuff with their home training of AI agents. Really awesome. Yeah. Basilica, I can say it right this time. Basilica, really excited to kind of see where they go from here. Up 40% on the month there. Minos, what an insane month, up 617%. Unknown sitting up 11% there. You have Grail up 14%, Platform 86% on the month. So some of these unknowns are just kind of not claimed yet. So we'll kind of see what's happening there. But it does feel like some of these unknowns are, the people are either gambling or they know something that we don't. So a lot of these unknowns are up on the month. So definitely look into them if you haven't already. But that's really kind of it there. And then, I was on the Mark Jeffries hash rate. Thank you again, Mark Jeffrey, for having me. Absolutely amazing time there. If you haven't watched this episode yet, it was so much fun. Me and Mark kind of chopping it up. So really awesome. Appreciate Mark. And that was a really fun time. But that is your Bittensor update for today. We do have TAO at 183. So we're hoping for TAO to kind of make its push, and then the subnets will kind of glide with it. But I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. And, you know, being in this ecosystem is going to be something that you look back on and say to yourself, that was the best decision of my life. It really was. And I'm here for it. And, you know, hope, you know, what my show kind of brings you is opportunity chasing. I want you guys to have the same opportunity that I'm trying to find. So I'm going to find it. I always do. But thanks again, guys. Appreciate you guys. Until next time. Peace.
Staring at the charts, watch me climb so high. Dollar signs on my mind. Never gonna die in this game for the win. I won't let it slide. Crypto dreams in the night. Got my crew by my side. Rolling with the best. Always taking flight. Every trade I make, getting richer tonight. Balance in the books, keeping it tight. In the crypto world, everything feels right. I'm in the zone, watch me rise up high. Stacking up the wins, watch the